नमस्कार। मैं हूं विशाल सक्सेना। टुडे इन today's world, what is the most important thing is to have a heart to heart talk, heart to heart chat। और यही है हमारे शो का नाम, हार्ट टू हार्ट चैट शो बाय जेना फैमिली। अब हम लोग इस चैट शो पे वी इनवाइट people who are who's of who in the trade, and because of them being here, we ensure that people who will listen to this podcast will surely understand ki how to develop themselves in various field of their own choice. We last time we bought demonetization, de-dollarization, then we had other guest of ours. So today we will be also bringing a very knowledgeable guest. But before I go deeper into this, I would like to say one thing. या मैं सबके पूछूंगा भी। हमारे हर एक इंसान के जिंदगी में एक चाह होती है कि वो कभी अपना काम करे, ऐसा काम करे कि वो अपना बिजनेस करे या अपना कोई ऐसी चीज अपने एक्सपीरियंस से इंट्रोड्यूस करे या कोई जॉइंट वेंचर लाए। ये हर एक आदमी की चाह होती है बेस्ड ऑन देयर एक्सपीरियंस। एंड द सेम इज द टॉपिक ऑफ आवर्स, विच इज जॉइंट वेंचर एंड ग्लोबल ट्रेड। पहले जमाने में तो ये होता था, आदमी जाता था, एक कोर्ट में डॉक्यूमेंट साइन करते थे, बैंक अकाउंट खोलते थे, बिजनेस खुल जाता। बट इन टूडेज वर्ल्ड, this book has got a new, very dazzling cover, which is called as startup. And today's startup, they are always looking in for things that will help them, guide them into global trade as well as a local trade. So what we say, think locally, grow globally. So today, whoever is interested in starting a startup, join us, because today with us is a very decorated guest, Mr. Joy Saxena. Joy Saab has spent his life working with all as CEO, head of many companies, organizations, and he has also a part of today's talk of the world, which is environmental, renewable energy. So if you are interested in looking into all the things, which is from starting from opening of a company, joint ventures, how to plan your moves, then today is the show which is going to help you out to develop yourself as a businessman and a startup company who wants to achieve their goals. So let me invite Mr. Joy Saxena onto this shows with everybody who's watching it. Joy Saxena, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने हमारा एक्सेप्ट किया to come on this show and give us your insight. And हम हार्दिक दिल
Thank
से
you.
जेना फैमिली की तरफ से आपको वेलकम करते हैं।
Thank you, Doctor. It's my privilege to be here, and I'm always looking forward for this kind of interaction. Wherever I can be valuable to anybody, it will be my pleasure.
जॉय साहब, हमें बेसिकली वी आर ऑनर्ड दैट आपने अपने बिजी शेड्यूल वीकडे में, फ्राइडे में अपने आप को अवेलेबल कराया। एंड आई वुड लाइक, एज दे से, इफ यू टेल समथिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ which will give more weightage than I explaining people about your background. So आपकी जो जर्नी रही है from the time you were a teenage till now, a brief insight about it. After that, we will start our question answer sessions. Joy sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Vishal, I come from a, you can say, middle class family, though my father was a sugar technologist, and he went to a level up to the heading the companies. And my grandfather was in a railway employees. From there, my father grew up. He grown 7 of his siblings. My father did a lot of things for all the brothers and sisters. And I am the first child. Then I have 2 sisters. Now, my father was the general manager and the top position holder in the various sugar factories. So my upbringing started from sugar factories, which is almost on the remote locations. But from there, then my mother's aim was there that why you become doctor and serve poor people. All that thing was in her mind. So I completed the CPMT and then joined medical college also. But since I cannot see humans' blood oozing out from the body, I used to get fainted. So I dropped the idea of becoming a doctor. So that was sometimes in 79, 80. And then I had a lot of inclination for sports. So from my college time, then I started indulging into various sports activities also. Now, cutting the long story into short, what I achieved in that, I played national level in cricket, and I played state level in 4 games, which is TT, badminton, chess, and carom also. And
Oh,
I played to till the level of mini Ranji at the selection level from UP, since I was coming
okay.
from Allahabad. And then
Hmm.
I was practicing, as I told you, qualified medical. Then after that, when I left medical because I couldn't see human's blood, my dad said, "Yaar, tum to 7th class ke ho, and if you are leaving it now, so what will you do? Rickshaw chalaoge? What else? I'm the only, I was the only child, and so I took a challenge. Then IS kar lo, PCS kar lo. I said nothing. All these competitions, competitive exams, I don't like. That time somebody told us there is a very tough thing which once you do, it's a very good professional line. चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी इन माय एंटायर फैमिली दूर दूर तक सुना भी नहीं था उस जमाने की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं 78 79 में
जी
तो मैंने
बिल्कुल।
कहा हाँ अगर ये मुश्किल है तो आई विल ट्राई दिस आई केम टू दिल्ली एनरोल माई सेल्फ एंड इनिशियली इट वाज ए इशू टू पास ऑन द एग्जाम्स but yes, of course, I did CA, then I did ICWA, then I did postgraduate diploma in business administration, then ICWA, which is CMA, certified management accountant. I was one of the topper in a few subjects in entire UP and India also. So my
जी
academic qualifications was like good second class standard, not first class. But once I came to the professional life, I was damn successful
जी।
man. I'm thankful to
Okay.
the God and all my elders and well wishers. None
Mhm.
of my target in my 35 years of professional life, nothing failed. Everything was super achievements. And as you have introduced, I worked at top companies of country at top leadership positions. So 35 years I worked only on leadership. I never worked number two, number three. It was luckily started
Oh,
from private sector, from Sahara Group. Then along with Subrata Roy ji, I started making airlines,
uh-huh.
newspaper, Ambe Valley. All those projects were a brainchild that time from Subrata Roy ji. And I was working directly with him and went to a level of then doing CFO of DLF, a group CEO and group president and whole-time director of Jindal Group. DLF, when the IPO came, I was the CFO for them. Vedanta Group, I represented as the CFO from Hindustan Zinc and then Madras Aluminum Company. Did listing in New York Stock Exchange, Indian stock exchanges. Did into solar in the Vikram Solar. I was the last assignment I did
Okay.
and brought to the company to the IPO level. Devu Motor in Korean companies also I worked. And see, my
Mhm.
only one thing I would like to say, I
जी
used to
बताएं
work
बताएं।
three and a half year in one company, and
हम्म।
then I used to change the company and I used to change the industry also. And whenever I
अच्छा।
used to change the company, it has been mostly had been headhunting because normally, touchwood, I never applied for a job. I did so well in my professional life that I was the baby in the eyes of all other promoters of my times in those industry. So could do it successfully. Biggest IPO of deal, if you can understand, raised so many millions of dollars of funds across the globe for different companies. ERA Group also I worked, Vikram Solar, as I told you. And then coming to a level when I saw 5 years back that my both the daughters have finally settled in America now. They are both are in San Jose in Silicon Valley. One is working for Google, the other is working for Palo Alto Network, the largest
Okay.
cybersecurity company. They both are doing very good. I decided to say goodbye to the industry, and then I am helping various entrepreneurs into building up the career. Plus, I'm advisor to big CCI. I also am advisor to various African countries. I travel quite a lot, and a lot of joint ventures, amalgamations, and building up a business processes I'm developing for them. And in many of the cases, I even don't charge money because I've been done up with all those things. So it is more like a professional support and helping others. And yes, of course, sometimes professionally also to eat some bread and water for me and my family. So that's how my career progressed.
So this is a perfect example for everyone from where you were and where you went. How nicely, smoothly you transited फ्रॉम अ स्मॉल टाउन, शुगर केन से लेके CFO, CEO, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, आप सब कुछ ग्रेजुअली यू बिल्ड स्टेप बाय स्टेप ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर लेवल दैट पीपल वर हेड हंटर्स के लिए यू वर अ डिलाइट. इट्स सच अ नाइस जर्नी ऑफ योर्स. सर, बाद में अब टाइम तो मिल गया है ना आपको, यू शुड स्टार्ट राइटिंग अ बुक फॉर योरसेल्फ.
That chapter actually is my wife is doing. She is a Reiki
अच्छा.
grandmaster and a spiritual healer. So she
ओके.
has been doing various patients of cancer and uh, uh, difficult diseases which cannot be cured from allopathy. So those
ओके.
cases only she picks up, and I've seen she is such a high spiritually into this. I also am a Reiki practitioner, but she is
हाँ
at
हाँ.
a super grandmaster and a spiritual level she does. So, and she has also published a book internationally from Germany and London. It was published. And yeah, both of us enjoy a good time here in
नहीं,
Noida.
दैट इज शोज ऑन योर फेस, द स्माइल ऑन योर फेस. एंड मैं बेसिकली क्या है कि सर अपने आप में भी लिखिए, सो दैट कि जितने अब नए स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं, जितने नए बच्चे आ रहे हैं ऑन द बिजनेस, दे विल श्योरली बी रीडिंग योर बुक बिकॉज यू विल बी अ इंस्पिरेशन टुडे. तो एक सजेशन है, शुरू करें आराम से. यू हैव बीन डूइंग सो मेनी थिंग्स, लेट दिस बी अ पार्ट ऑफ यू, राइट सर? सो
Thank you, good suggestion. I'll think about it.
ठीक है सर. सो नाउ what we will go for questions which I've said to everybody. My first question for is as now the startups are coming up, what is your first basic advice for a startup to look into it when they are going into or venturing into something of their own and where they want to grow gradually and they do not know how to handhold, who to handhold. तो अगर आप इसके बारे में डिटेल बताएं तो काफी अच्छा रहेगा फॉर these स्टार्टअप्स. तो आप बताएं सर.
Yeah, yeah. So the startups are basically good ventures, and they may turn into a good businesses. And most of the
हम्म.
startups which are being developed now are having some elite area of business, which
करेक्ट.
has not been done by others, or they are looking into some new blood into that. That this is a
हम्म.
thing which will change the life of many people, will change the business style. Maybe it can be a IT software or a commercial business or manufacturing or hydrogen production or maybe CO2 norms, environmental controls. So these
जी.
are the developmental stage things which in past was not done by you cannot do a second Reliance now. You cannot do a
हम्म.
second no Adani Enterprises. So that is not a startup somebody can look at. So in these businesses, these entrepreneurs, maybe they are IITians, maybe MBAs, but they have knowledge, they have brain, they have a thought process, they have an idea to develop. But going forward, how to accumulate all those things into a business stream and get a right path for that, probably they need a good advisor. And
मार्केट
everybody
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
cannot
भी
do.
होनी चाहिए. मार्केट
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
अंडरस्टैंडिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. हाँ हाँ.
Yes, sir. And everybody cannot go to KPMG, ENYs, because then whatever business plan you have, somebody else will eat up your butter. So for
हम्म.
that, first of all, I would say you need to structure your company and plans very thoroughly. Structuring
करेक्ट.
means if
हम्म.
it is a business model, from where and how your intellectual capital gets accumulated into a business model, and then going forward, it can go and earn fruits. You need a supporting hand which can probably go for either a LLP or a private limited company or then joint venture partnership, and then
करेक्ट.
you need some thought process to raise your money. For that, you have to understand who will bring the seed capital, who will bring the venture capital, and after that, you want to go a private equity or then a structured capital, maybe debenture or a no CCPs or convertibles or non-convertible. These are the financial things. And
हम्म.
then going forward, you have to encash it, release it into the market with an IPO because you have to give them a good exit also to the various investors which have been part of you to start with the venture. So all those things probably whatever I have understood from now till 10 years back and then before that another 10 years back, the guys nowadays, I feel that good entrepreneurs, they understand all these English, whatever we have been discussing about. But the
करेक्ट.
point is, they lack only the experience. If a person like 20 years, 30 years experience guy sitting with them and hand holding it properly being done, telling them
हम्म.
don't do this and don't do this. So I
हम्म.
think that's one thing they need. And I don't know whether a person like me would be a right choice or maybe people similar into the trade and businesses would be a right anchor. So basically, you can say can help them to build up those things. Because what
Mm-hmm.
happens sometimes, I've seen many people enter into joint venture with them. Do a transaction, okay, fine, I will take so much sweat equity, I will take so much equity, and these poor people, they give equity at a very early stage without properly getting valued. So, I mean, somebody can stop it. No, you will get valued. You need to develop your business from A level to the B level, then B to
Correct.
C. After that, you think about that. So, I think that's my understanding at the time going on nowadays. Yeah.
So मतलब आपका कहने का है that person should have a market understanding first, then they should look into the financials part of it also, how the flow should be going for the market understanding and develop brick by brick how to develop their business, and then उसके बाद due diligence भी करें कि वो क्या करना चाहते हैं and how they want to go ahead in their this thing. And something about risk management, अगर आप बता पाए, risk assessment भी तो होता होगा, because for people who are doing startups, everybody when they open a company, nobody thinks risk assessments is required, because आज की दुनिया में everybody thinks be positive, don't think about risk assessment. But I'm sure risk assessment will also play a big role. तो उसके बारे में भी कुछ आप बताएं हमें, like so that the startups and they will understand it.
Yeah, Vishal, very good question.
Hmm.
Actually, either you talk about risk assessment or do a SWOT analysis for your business, for your own
Mm-hmm.
personality, of your partners, and I mean, kind of business you are going to develop, who are the competitors, whether the
Mm-hmm.
market will give you so much value or so much business or not, or where
Mm-hmm.
are you looking in your business 5 years from now. So for
Okay.
that, everything comes into one thing, which I call
Mm-hmm.
is corporate governance. If into the corporate
Okay.
governance perspective, your
Mm-hmm.
it's not only business risk. There is an environmental risk. There are political risks. There are the national. Now see what is happening between India and the US. We
Correct.
have been sending our kids. H1B was not a challenge. Suddenly it has become so much challenge that people are coming back. Your education,
Correct.
I mean, those kind of things, nobody can foresee what will happen tomorrow with India to Australia joint, I mean, treaties. So there are two
Mm-hmm.
things. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
grow global, then your corporate governance and the risk assessments are different. If your business plan is basically for domestic India only, your business plan and risk assessments and governances are different. So
जी
based on all that structure, see, Vishal, one thing is very important.
जी
Now,
बताएं.
after that, you have to see whether if you want to go global. I mean,
Correct.
it's not that easy to go global unless you have so many things to understand. Could be what is double taxation treaty between you and that country. Then what will become the structure of LLP and joint venture from the company? Who will put how
Mm-hmm.
much equity into the Indian partner and the overseas partner? It could be a branch office or a business office or a cost center only or a business center, or it
Correct.
could be a private limited. Then who will be the local director? I mean, there is a plethora of things.
Correct.
These startups, either they are very highly technocrat guys, they definitely need a guy who can handhold as a corporate governance structure and definitely building the structure before the things start happening. So
Correct.
that's my concern. Yeah.
So मतलब first of all, understanding what the current market is, your niche, and how you will be looking into that particular niche, and then you have to assess yourself plus the global situation how it is going.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
for that you would pick अब आदमी कितने इकोनॉमिक्स टाइम्स पढ़ेगा, कितना फाइनेंस एक्सप्रेस पढ़ेगा. They should come to a person who's so experienced like you, who can handhold them and take him to the next step and the third step and the fourth step accordingly. So जॉय साहब ये तो आपने बड़ा अच्छा किया, so that कि I'm sure the children who want to do a startup, they will surely look into this particular aspect. Now I would like to another thing, sir. Now when they are moving ahead in their life, what are the
Yeah.
things they should look for joint ventures also? See, today I want to do something. I have handhold you and going ahead. Now, who's the right person? देखिए जॉइंट वेंचर भी एक होता है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर डीलरशिप लोकल के लिए भी होता है. So what is that they should look in others also? Because today business तो करना ही है, and we are prepared. We have made a roadmap, phase wise, all the risk assessment, everything has been already done. Now, who are the people? How to evaluate those people with whom either we are going to do a joint venture or we are going to be making them a distributor, a C&F agent, or a wholesaler in our local market. उसके बारे में आप बताएं सर.
So Vishal, this all depends on the business and the nature of the business, whether it pertains to one state, two state, or multiple states in one country, or if it is a
Correct.
global, then it is a different thing.
Hmm.
Now the companies, you form the company, you make it big, but unless otherwise you have a strong legal team, the
Mm-hmm.
documentation, you have a, you want to appoint somebody as a dealer, you really cannot
Mm-hmm.
appoint unless you have a good legal document in place.
Correct.
Now, that is the part where the experienced people, and they may or may not be qualified legal guys, but if you have an industry expert and they can read between the thin lines, if we know, we
Mm-hmm.
want this kind of understanding in the business, because at any
Correct.
point in time, we would
Mm-hmm.
not like to leave anything, any thread which is so loose that other people are tomorrow, exploiting us. So, from that
Correct.
perspective, the legal
Mm-hmm.
documentation, whether there is a legal team or not, again, I'm saying a person who is handholding a people who have been into corporate governance and all, they have
Mm-hmm.
to practically see the document in detail before it is signed off. It's because the
Okay.
legal team will only do whatever legal terms are required to be done. But within that, you have to put the
Mm-hmm.
business terms, your dealership requirement, your joint venture requirement, your office being set up as you have said. So all those options would be available based on the type of contract is being entered into. So, I mean, I don't know whether probably the large companies and big companies, obviously I can tell about me, 35 years of
Mm.
my experience.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
have never left any legal head not coming to me, finally getting my vetting also before signing any damn contract in the companies where I have worked. Or
Oh, wow.
if not
Mm-hmm.
I, then my team. Maybe my team having so many president level people reporting to me. In Jindal Group, I have a 6 president reporting to me. One was for shipping, one was for infrastructure, one was for road. I mean, like that. So if president type people are reporting to you, still you need to go in detail to understand from them, at least on a cup of a coffee across the table, and go into detail the business terms and conditions of that legal contract.
Correct.
So if a CEO guy or a CFO level person or a head of the organization take that thing under the control, I personally feel probably the possibility of missing out can be eradicated.
Okay. So now you mean to say that once a person steps into this, they should understand legality is equally important and plays a very big role when it comes to appointing your dealers, distributors, or global joint ventures.
Oh yes, oh yes.
So, right. So, because that is the main thing when people who are going ahead, moving ahead in life, that is one area, legality, that people do not think at all also. Yes, due diligence and everything they do. But yes, when it comes to legality, people normally flip the page and they do not read the fine prints which are mentioned in the legal documents. As rightly pointed out by you, that yes, even if people who are knowledgeable and well versed, still the last opinion has to be looked into it. Correct, sir?
Yeah, Vishal, I can tell you, I'm as a mentor, I am doing three
Mm-hmm.
IITs. There are three IITs. They are
Mm-hmm.
developing their own company separately. I will
Uh-huh.
not be in a position to share the business model,
No
but
problem, sir.
somebody is coming from hydrogen supplies, somebody is going for the manufacturing of environmental safety for CO2 and carbon monoxide, and somebody is working on how to reduce the consumption of the petrol into the vehicles, and to that should be environmental friendly. In all these three things, I can tell you the legal documentation, if not would have been done properly. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
their own supply chain management guys or the own joint venture people would have taken away their businesses, unless then we only told them, if this para doesn't work, you do business or don't do. I want to throw it away from my paragraphs. It should not be part of
Correct.
my legal document. Because you have to
Mm.
really see, not today. If maybe after 2 years, maybe 3 years down the line,
Mm-hmm.
something may go adverse to you, and I have seen the companies are going out from those promoters, because then the financial experts, they take the document, write the document. If that doesn't happen, I will take 5% more. if this condition doesn't fulfill, you have to give me 5%, or your valuation of the equity will go down. So what will happen? You are the promoter. It's your brainchild. You develop the
Correct.
company, and somebody else will eat the butter in place of you. That should be avoided.
That is very
And that
pathetic.
is
Yes, yes.
yes. That's
So one more thing.
Yeah.
So now, apart from this, what are the other top mistakes that a person who's starting global venture or a joint venture and starting up a company, what are the other small prints which they should look into? Apart from the legal was a small print which you have told the right way how to look into it. But apart from that, there will be other areas also.
So for global JVs, actually it is like this. If you go to countries, suppose like Zambia, if you go like New Zealand, you have to really understand the tax laws and the legal structure framework and the company structure framework of that country. If you have not understood, you have relied on others, probably you may get cheated. So now
Correct.
every country has double taxation treaty for taxation, where the credit will pass on to you once you file your income tax return in your country.
Correct.
Secondly, the equity participation could be coming from your side as an Indian equity, and the local partner will put the equity from that country. Now, equity you have put it in, but if you have not understood the law, how much profit of that particular country business can be plowed back to India, and if it plowed back, so whether what are the norm conditions for the dividends, what are the conditions for the profit coming back, and once you close your shop, what are the options there? Your entire equity also repatriated back to country. If initially you have not done all these things, starting the business after that, if you want to do, probably you would be in a soup, because you have not done that. See, what is the structuring? हम लोग कहते हैं ना, मकान की नींव डाल तो नींव अच्छी होनी चाहिए भाई. 3-story house you have to make, it should be so much. Similarly, a company's plan, what you have in mind, you structure your company, you structure your JVs, you structure your global businesses, and then go forward so that to avoid these things, these mistakes in future. I have seen many cases. People start putting the money into the capital or into the business, the dollar rupee denomination cases, and without filing those proper returns either to RBI in India or to the similar RBIs of that countries to that country. So your business model is on a very weak footing. You can do $1 billion business, but going forward, probably you have so many hiccups where all the profit can be eaten away by undue, unwarranted taxes.
Okay. So, sir, basically now what we are going more detailing into, like a proper governance is also required when you are going step by step ahead. And sir, एक और चीज है, because what has happened, what I understand from now is basically when a person is entering into a business, एक problem सबको आती है कि they do not know the right person whom to approach also. जो आपने बताया, this is basically out of your knowledge, you have worked in the various areas and sectors. Right, sir? And you have worked in a very nice positions and A-class positions you have worked. But when some people can approach you, but how to find the right person also should be a part of it, how to evaluate that also. Because Khalil, I go and meet Mr. A, who's a very good into legalities. And but after that, where do I approach? People, normally startups, they get stuck there. How to go that? So how will you see to that as a, like for the startups, how to look into those sort of a people? Like everybody approach you, but they will be approaching some other people also. How do they should look into that part? कि हाँ जी, हमें ये बंदा can help us. What is their criteria also? Because हमारी dream है.
Yeah.
How do I
So
go about
because
it?
answer is very simple. You will not find a more simpler answer than what I am going to tell you.
जी 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 जी.
There are many industry experts, maybe a financial line or governance, or maybe ex-CFOs or company secretaries or legal. Either they are getting retired or they are having sufficient time, they are available for. So you must have those people with you. I mean, whatever understanding you have, maybe on a weekly basis, you go and meet them, or you invite them to meet, or they are part of your board, or they become part of the journey of the business, or you appoint them as a long-term business associate. So what happens? You may be having 5 people who are making a company, and all 5 are technocrats. one can be software expert, one can be hardware and programming, Scala में मैं जानता हूँ, चलो Amazon से business कर लेंगे, ये सब एक business model है, they can do best in that. बट इन्हीं सारे बिजनेस को लीगली गवर्नेंस में, टैक्सेशन से, जेवीज में कैसे बांधना है, अगर वो किसी अच्छे आदमी को साथ लेके चलेंगे। और
जी।
होता क्या है, मतलब आई मे बी रॉन्ग, आई एम सॉरी, कौन सुनता है इस शो को, क्या रियलाइज करता है कि दोज एंटरप्रेन्योर्स विद दे वंस दे कम इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ गेटिंग अप इनटू द बिजनेस, दे फील दे आर फाइन, दे कैन डू एनीथिंग, उनके पास तो बहुत बड़ा मॉडल है, वो चला देंगे, ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे, बहुत अच्छी बातें हैं। लेकिन राइट टाइम पे वो लोग ऐसे एसोसिएट्स के साथ एसोसिएट नहीं हो पाते, क्योंकि उनकी अपनी ईगोज इन्वॉल्व होती है। मैंने अपने ही, मतलब और भी मैं 7-8 लोगों को मेंटोरिंग कर चुका हूँ, टीम को कर चुका हूँ, कुछ की तो 500, 700, 800 करोड़ के बिजनेस भी हो गए हैं। और
वाह।
मैंने देखा है कि जो डाउन टू अर्थ होता है, जो आपसे मिलने
हम्म।
आएगा, आपको कहेगा सर आप जरा, मैं तो फंस गया भाई, तो वहां पे आप हेल्प कर सकते हो। कोई आगे नहीं, मैंने जे भी साइन करा है, सब एग्रीमेंट हो गया, ये कर रहा होगा, अब आप देख लेना, तो वो नहीं हो पाता है। तो जैसे अपन लोग बात करते हैं ना कि व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इन लाइफ इज द
हम्म।
एटीट्यूड। So
हम्म।
if the attitude is of submissive of nature and you want to learn from others, probably you would be a very successful man. And if the attitude is like I know everything,
हम्म।
then you are going to face the music at any part of your life. So this is very important.
तो मैंने लाइक जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं ना, यू शुड बी अ लर्नर एवरी फेज एंड अनलर्न टू लर्न मेनी थिंग्स ऑल्सो। अच्छा,
Yes,
नाउ सो एज पर यू द बोर्ड स्ट्रक्चरिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। हु इज गोइंग टू कैरी विच पोर्टफोलियो, करेक्ट सर? तो बोर्ड स्ट्रक्चरिंग के साथ व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट थिंग दे शुड सी? नाउ दे हैव लुक इनटू द मार्केट निश, they have got into the due diligence, they have got the financial understanding with the one of the board people, legal understanding, board structuring. Now how do they build the confidence of the investors? That is very important also. हमने सब कुछ तो बना लिया, घर वर बना लिया, and now how do we win the confidence of the investors who can invest the company? Your views on that?
absolutely. Yeah. So one thing is that you require a small amount to start up your things to support you. Maybe you require, just an example, 5 crore, 10 crore kind of thing. So the financial experts, like people who are of the background of being past CFOs or work with the banks and work with the private equities, they
जी।
will bring people who can put some seed money into your business. For that, first of all, you have to prepare your business model with a teaser document. These are the your biodata of the people who have been bringing the brain into the business, and this is the potential of the business which can go to this level. After making all that thing, discussing with the financial experts, that definitely a seed capital would be invited. And going forward, then in a similar way, you have to go for the venture capital into the company. Now here, it is easy saying, but hunting that
हाँ।
experts or the fund holders will not be that easy task. So for
Correct.
that, the business model or the new business which you have been trying to bring into the space at the moment should be
Hmm.
remarkable enough, which can attract to those people, who can definitely are interested. Secondly, don't expect that you will get a big amount to start with, and you also
Mm-hmm.
don't need to have big amount. See what will
Correct.
happen if you take big money, and because you have to pay it back also after a few years with some returns, or
Correct.
maybe in equity also, then also you need to pay return, because then the valuation of equity at the time of exiting could be determined as a amount which has to be paid it back, whether you bring an IPO or you do another private equity. That is
Mm-hmm.
the reason the requirement should be well defined and take only that much money which is needed. And after multiplying that money, go for the second stage. You need more money, or your internal accruals are fine enough to grow you further, whatever your stages of developments are there. So, Vishal, I
Mm-hmm.
have seen few companies or few startups which the growth has been phenomenal. So, in a
Correct.
phenomenal situation, you can think about a bigger amount, like a good venture capital coming, or maybe some Canadian fund can you invite. I mean, depends kind of business what you have. This business is a niche in nature. Nobody else in the world is doing. Everybody will
Mm-hmm.
see you are a very attractive guy. But if
Mm-hmm.
everybody is doing the same business, you are also the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you may not get attraction from the fund house.
Correct. Acha, so now when this, you have to be having a very straight, transparent business model, what you want to say. So basically, see, then when you are developing all this is all basically a intellectual property. So अब आपने तो पूरा, you have done all your homework and you go and meet a person who says as an investor, an angel investor or a normal investor. They normally tell us ki, okay, now you leave your file, I will go through it. Or you send us your email and I'll go through it. And in search of investment, the person will like evaluate 3 or 4 companies and send his business model. So how should they ensure that their intellectual property is safe? Because intellectual property is there. Now the board of directors and people with your experience coming in and making a proper module and a total module which is foolproof, ready to go. So now, but this is intellectual property. How will that should be taken care of?
No, in that case, it all depends how you represent your case. If your business
Okay.
model is robust enough and you have a lot of confidence, I don't think that will be a big challenge. But the challenge coming because, as rightly you have been discussing, many people they copy and paste the other businesses. So the challenge comes for them. Like
Okay.
today, if Swiggy is there and Eternal means Eternal is there, another company which we call Zomato.
Correct.
In a similar space, maybe a small scale in a QSR business or somebody in a bigger space, somebody comes in, they will not get a success because even these two big companies are struggling today for the valuation because the business model is so crazy that initially 3, 4, 5 years you need a lot of capital to deploy as a long-term capital planning. So there are few businesses into the IT industry which start turning into the black in 6 months and then into the profits after 7 months, and they start giving you the return of 24%, 26% IRR in 1 or 2 years. But this is what is known as intellectual capital. So when the
Okay.
business model is like that, you have done something which nobody else has done, and you can do a quick, fast business rotation of the profits and ventures where your cost is very less and your mindset, this is what the investment is there. Your brain has been invested. So those business models are different. In a
Okay.
normal manufacturing or a trading businesses or businesses which are of a routine of nature, you need to show that your return of investment is way up higher as compared to the other competitors. For example, you want to do a textile manufacturing company. And
Correct.
textile manufacturing on an average, if you take top 10 companies in India, you know the cost of salary is around 6%. Cost of production, your EBITDA level is around 15%. Your PBT level, profit before tax, is around 5%, and profit
Correct.
after tax becomes 2%. If 2 to 3% profit you are earning from the textile business, they are big remains and all these. I mean, then where are you? You
Mm-hmm.
have to bring something that, yeah, I can need so much capital. I will give 4 times, 3 times more than what the other textile companies have been doing in India. So those models will get more attraction. I have just gave a number. I'm not sure those numbers are right or wrong. For example, so your business model should be really attractive for IRR, return on investment, and return on equity. And then
Correct.
your EBITDA number, your PBT number, PAT number. And then once you commit to the investor, these numbers I'm going to achieve in next 3 years, the next 2 years, and then you have to achieve. If you have not achieved your commitments, then also you get devalued. And
Correct.
that's the challenge. Yeah.
Okay. So now, sir, now thing is this, ki you have to give a rosy picture if you are doing something as a replica business. Correct. When you're giving a rosy picture, बताएं बताएं.
So I will not agree because if you
Hmm.
want to give a rosy picture
Hmm.
and your business itself is not that rosy, then you're
Hmm.
giving the rosy picture. Definitely, after 2 years, it will not be there the number that you have committed.
Okay.
So your business should be rosy. Rather, you
Hmm.
give a rosy picture, and that's the only correction.
Okay. So business should be rosy, but yes, your figures and facts should be very well understood and calculated before giving it to your joint venture partner. Now, one more thing, sir. Now, when you have given all these details, when you have worked out all these details with the things, now I have seen people start growing in. And I've seen recently in India, अभी एक आपका जो Zomato, somebody has they have started their own IPO also. Someone has done it. So उसके बारे में how do you would like to explain? Like that's we have done step by step. We are growing. We got a joint venture partner also who is investing based on the projections and everything we have given. And this all takes at least a year, if I have not mistaken, to start up. Correct, sir? You cannot expect a result overnight.
Yeah.
So now, then how do they go? Next step is, let's say 3 years they have working in and out, all working, the profitability is going gradually. Then what, how they can look for the next bigger picture, which is IPO, because you have to handle that. So how do they go about that also?
So my take on this is whatever you have committed to the investor,
Hmm.
whether you bring a 18% return, you'll bring 14% return, your top line will be so many crores, your bottom line will be so much, your corporate governance will be perfect. You will not have any tax liability or any liability which is not disclosed into your balance sheet and the profit loss account. If you maintain the good corporate governance and the health of the company is good,
Hmm.
definitely you are going to rise. Even those investors only to whom you have committed and you have been delivering. See, now the delivery is something which
Hmm.
becomes very important. Now you can say that I am 6 feet tall. Once you come and measure me, I come 5 feet 6 inch only. So I mean, what the hell we have been talking about? So it's a
Correct.
question of delivery of your plans. Your plans have been delivering. Your all investors definitely will value you more. Your company's valuation also will be 1.5 times to 2 times in a year's time. And then you raise the another capital on that new valuation. You will
Correct.
not raise a new capital on the old valuation. Now you have performed well. You have achieved your targets. You have shown to the world that this company is performing with a good governance structure and good knowledge base is there. Definitely, you are going to rise. I mean, there is no challenge for the second round and the third round of financial support.
Okay. So like, but how do they prepare the docs? So now the companies which are there, they look forward for certifications also, global certificate, like ISO bhi chahiye, they want other things. So how do they go into that?
Yeah. So that is the reason I use the word corporate governance and the
Hmm.
legal and taxation framework to be achieved. So
Hmm.
every business has certain certification, certain approval process. Like airlines, you need to go to
Hmm.
DGCA for approval. You need to environment clearance. Your plane should be going category A, B, C, flying so many hours you can fly. Each and every step you have all the parameters you have to achieve, and you cannot skip in a shortcut that leave this behind. I will do it later. So all those things which are required for that particular business, somebody has to tick the boxes. And that is the reason I said a good corporate governance guy, maybe he can be CA or an ICW or a company secretary or have experience of doing in various different companies in the past,
Hmm.
would
Hmm.
be of great help. And
Hmm.
sometimes many now professionals have opened their own partnership firms to support the businesses. So they
Okay.
themselves become like a virtual CFO job, I can say. You are not as a
Okay.
CFO of the company, but you are sitting outside, but you are observing everything, getting reports, and telling the people not to do this, supporting the promoters, supporting the management. So all those services are available in the market nowadays. When the people
Hmm.
they do this job, and this is what is
Hmm.
required to do. Yeah.
Correct. Uh-huh. Acha, what is the one thing that every startup should understand when they start? They should do the groundwork before registering the company, or after registering the company, they should do the groundwork. What is that?
If you register even a company, you have done a mistake, you can deregister also. That is not a very big challenge. But
Hmm.
probably, what is the size of the company? How many
Hmm.
partners are there? Who all will become the board of directors, shareholders, and who will be supporting the company as a financial expert? These two, three
Hmm.
things become very important. You start
Hmm.
doing for technical people starting a company without getting good guidance or advisors from the for the governance and the financial perspective can be a blunder. So probably that is one thing which is at the start of a company should be done, because then you proceed ahead.
So, but when you appoint people in the start of the company, won't the overheads become very heavy for them?
No, it is just again. My answer is different. You need not to
बताएं
appoint
sir.
them. Yes, sir. You
Okay.
need not to appoint them. You are there. They are your business associate. A board of director or a associate people need not to be paid, and you have very clear terms and condition. After 1 year, after 2 year, when the business model becomes like this, I start earning profit. I will you will be appointed. Your terms either as a employee or as a consultant, and
Okay.
then the cycle will start. Or in other way, you can a very senior person you want to you keep as a mentor and advisor, or you can still understand to give them some sweat equity. That sweat equity is fine. I have 100% share with me. I'll give you 10% after 1 year, and then that time valuation 10% you enter, and you need not to pay for the equity amount also. Sweat equity is calculated based on the valuation and the understand, because he is putting a lot of hard work for you
Ah,
to,
that's what it is. Yeah.
yeah. So then sweat equity and the understanding associate appointment, understanding between the promoter and the professional becomes important, and they start working and supporting each other. Yeah.
Okay. So now that is a very good advice which you are giving. One, I'm sure people who will be watching this particular on YouTube will surely gain a lot of knowledge, awareness, and wisdom also on how to go step by step, the way you are hand holding them. Sir, ek aur sawal. Like I'm asking some sawal and I'm going overboard the time also, no worries. But thing is this, so what is that now today's market is shrinking? First, people thought market shrinking is because of the emails and everything we can easily do. We can reach anywhere, virtual meeting and all. But now the market has shrunk because of trade policies introduced by various governments. So, which is the emerging market for you, which is now going to be upcoming emerging market in the global trade?
See, what we understand from the global businesses, that we see the GDP growth of every country. Now, the
Right.
GDP growth of the last decade, you see China has been doing excellent. Their GDP has been 8 to 10% continuously for 10 years. And that is the reason they become close to $20 trillion economy. US economy has been $21 trillion. They grew to $27 trillion in 10 years. And then the stagnation came. There's only one country, India, which is growing continuously since last 3, 4 years, and if you be 7, 8 years, our growth has been 6 to 8% continuously. And in emerging market, if you see, you'll find not Bangladesh doing very badly, but Indonesia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, they have been doing great for the growth of the GDP of that country. So if you invest into those countries' equities, probably that's one business model one has to understand. Secondly, going forward also, what you will believe, that whosoever is doing good now, and they have a business plan or the plan for the next 5 to 8 years, that these are the growth prospects of that country and those businesses of that country, then the things are written on the wall. I don't think we have to understand much deeper into this. That of course, the countries which have been falling into the trap of the financial overburden or being close to the bankruptcy, like Pakistan and all, we need not to talk about those countries. We have to only talk about the businesses where the GDP and the net GDP
Next.
becomes after the inflation getting corrected into that. Huh? It is economic terms. So those countries and those businesses will only flourish. Secondly, I don't buy the argument of political leadership. But having
Correct.
said that, political leadership is also important, because
Correct.
Biden and Trump you can compare. In India also various government have been there, so we talk about those things. It should not become a political statement, but we can understand from business perspective where the country will go and reach in after 10 years or 5 years, whether you are surviving or I'm surviving or not. So put
Correct.
your money into those businesses, put your money into those countries where present GDP is good and going GDP forecasts are super sexy. So I think that's the answer.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing, sir. Now, one more thing, karke, I've been asking so many things with you. One mistake that kills the business in the early stages. What is that one mistake which kills the business in a very early stage?
It is only the ego of the promoter. The
Ah.
company which is being floated by the promoter. Sometimes these people come from the background where their fathers and the forefathers have been into the business. Probably they will not do the mistake into the business modeling, but their ego can kill them. Secondly,
Okay.
the new people. which are coming into having a lot of brain, they have a lot of intellectual capital, they develop a good business model, but they believe that they can do everything. This is also not correct. Because
Correct.
in a company, if you see what happens, there is
Hmm.
HR department, there's a marketing, there's a sales, there's a finance, there's a taxation, there's a company secretary. Why they are there?
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
a promoter himself can do everything, then why these all jokers are required? So इसलिए at a stage to stage level, once you start growing, you have to really see whether you keep these people as an employee or a outsourced support as experts or maybe a consultant. But please
Hmm.
don't do anything which you have no idea. Please do
Correct.
the things which you can get as an advice from an expert. This is the
Correct.
only answer. Otherwise, but I can tell you, as I was just briefed also, in 3, 4 of my own startup cases where I have been mentoring, few of these young boys have been so crazy that I have to thump the table and stand up. You do yourself. No, 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 sir. You tell me. I'm telling you, you're not listening. And what happened? The similar business model. One guy went up to a very high level in 2 years, and a better business model in the same trade. After 5 years, also, second company did not grow at all because the other promoter have been so, I mean, you can say his head was so high on his own thinking that he don't consider anybody else can help you. So
Hmm.
probably the attitude of learning, as you rightly, we have started the
Ah.
dialogue initially. So
Hmm.
that, see, in your family also, if with your
Hmm.
wife or with your children, you are harsh enough, probably you feel that you will get an adequate love from them. No, you won't.
Correct.
So you also have to wash the utensil if you go to America and stay with your kids. I did that. You have to
Hmm.
also wash your floor once the corona comes into it. Don't ask your wife to do everything. Same thing.
Correct,
So
sir.
the collaboration of the thing, helping each other, supporting each other, understanding each other, and same thing is for the business also, I guess.
Such a nice blending you have done of your home life and the business life in a very simple and very nice way that you have blended it. Acha, sir, one piece of advice which you would like to give for the children or the startup who are entering the global market. One piece of advice.
See, they should be confident into their business model. First of all, it is your
And no
baby.
arrogance. And no
And
arrogance
no,
at all.
yes, of course, because it is your baby. Who else
Hmm.
can know better than the parents for that baby कि मेरे बच्चे में
Hmm.
क्या कमियां हैं. तो तुम्हें बिजनेस मॉडल में तो अपने यू शुड बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट किया दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू रन एंड आई विल बी सक्सेसफुल. Nobody
Correct.
else in the entire world can beat your understanding and trust into your own baby. That's point number
Correct.
one. कि मुझे पता है
Hmm.
कि मैं ये करके जाऊंगा. Now, उसके बाद, as we have discussed, you need support function, advice, listen to other, become down to earth, and no arrogance. And I mean, your confidence level should be high, but arrogance level should be zero. This is two different
Correct.
things.
Ah, this is two
But
very good
होता क्या
parameters
है?
you given.
Confidence is zero and arrogance is high. So
Ah.
what are we talking? So 90% or the 95% Indian particularly, because I can discuss global separately, but Indians, we have very
Hmm.
bad mindset that our arrogance level, our respect to the others, our I know everything, what the hell you know, that kind of thinking is very high in our case. So we
Okay.
have to handle with care for our those entrepreneurs which want to grow up and but they have good brains. But एक चीज और बोलूंगा मैं,
जी बताएं.
पिछले पिछले 5 साल में अगर आप देखिए, मतलब आई
जी.
कैन कोरिलेट टू लास्ट 30 40 years बिकॉज नाउ आई एम 65, आई बीन इन द इंडस्ट्री. इसलिए 5 साल में जो बच्चे या जो नए एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आ रहे हैं, their
जी.
attitude is really very good. Their attitude,
Hmm.
their softness, their approach to the situation, they want to learn, they will approach you कि भाई ये ठीक है सर, अंकल ठीक है, all those things have started now. But 5 साल पहले से पिछले 15 साल जाएंगे तो एरोगेंस लेवल वाज वेरी हाई. शायद शायद कोरोना ने या
सबको हिला दिया.
कुछ हाँ मिस एडवेंचरस काम हुए हैं जो लोगों ने किए हैं, फैमिली में किए हैं, जहां उनके नेटवर्क 50% इरोड हो गई या कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गए, तो शायद कुछ अकल आ गया है. Probably I see there's a lot of good talent. They are following this thing now.
As rightly said by you, in this current generation, they have seen two, three major things which nobody had seen 7, 8 years before, like Corona came, market stabilization going haywire. Suddenly, government policies are changing, rules are changing, thinking have been changed. You're right. Like the bache log who have come in this time, they have seen those particular areas where which nobody had thought about.
True.
So I would like to ask you one thing. Now, what is the business mantra which you would like to give to the children who are coming up into this particular trade?
पहला तो मतलब आई एम नॉट गुरु ऑफ दैट, बट पहली बात तो ये, आप
Sure.
अपने, हाँ, अपने एरिया में आप काम करिए।
Hmm.
सपोज आपको पता है कि भाई ये मेरा बिजनेस एरिया है, और
जी,
ये मैं रिन्यूएबल में काम करना चाहता हूँ, तो मैं सोलर को अच्छा समझता हूँ, या विंड को
जी।
अच्छा समझता हूँ, या मैं हाइड्रो को अच्छा समझता हूँ, या हाइब्रिड को अच्छा समझता हूँ, या चारों का मिला के कंपोजिट प्रोजेक्ट बना के मैं कर सकता हूँ। तो आप अपने एरिया से आगे बाहर ना जाएं, you remain
Okay.
within your own area. Achha, now
Hmm.
in your area also there are many things you can do wonders, not the blunders. So think
Hmm.
about what wonders you can do into your own area. You will definitely be, if you are so much dedicated to your own expertise area, you will be a successful man. हम क्या करते हैं? And thirdly, there is no shortcut लाइफ में,
Hmm.
there is no shortcut. मैं देखिए, जब मैं एमबीबीएस की तैयारी कर रहा था, तब भी मैं 18 घंटे पढ़ता था। फिर जब मैं
जी।
रणजी खेलता था या स्पोर्ट्स में था, तो भी मैं 8 8 घंटे, 10 10 घंटे टीटी पे शॉट मारता था, देखें कौन मेरी फोकस है। जब मैंने सीए में घुसा, तो सीए ऐसे मैनेजमेंट किया, इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट दैट इजी। आई एम नॉट
Correct.
बूस्टिंग माई, बट एनीथिंग नॉट इजी। बट
Hmm.
आफ्टर डूइंग ऑल दैट थिंग, नाउ आई एम गिविंग ए लेक्चर दैट नथिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट एंड नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल इन द वर्ल्ड। मैंने तो
Correct.
देखा है कि कुछ भी मुश्किल नहीं है। करने के बाद लगता है कि यार ये क्या मैं था, ये कंपनियां मैंने चला दी। डीएलएफ का मैं सीएफओ था, वेदांता का सीएफओ रहा हूँ, जिंदल ग्रुप का ग्रुप प्रेसिडेंट, होल टाइम डायरेक्टर रहा हूँ।
सारे
विक्रम
सब ब्रांड्स हैं।
विक्रम विक्रम सोलर का, हाँ, इंडिया की सबसे, इसका आईपीओ भी मेरा तैयार किया हुआ है, उसका मैं
हम्म।
एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर था। ये सारी कंपनी, सहारा का एयरलाइंस, न्यूज़पेपर, हाउसिंग, सारी शुरुआत हमने करी है। तो ये आपको बाद में पता लगता है कि आपने कैसे कर लिया। एक तो डेस्टाइन्ड है, और दूसरा प्रोबेबली आप उस समय अपने काम में इतने घुसे हुए थे कि आपको जमाने की चिंता नहीं थी।
डेडिकेशन थी आप
हाँ,
बेसिकली एक।
तो ये बच्चों में भी अपना जो भी काम करें, आई डोंट थिंक एनीथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल। मेरा तो लाइफ की लर्निंग यही है कि लाइफ में कुछ भी इम्पॉसिबल नहीं।
आपने सर जो सीख दी है आज ना, इट इज बेसिकली वर्थ रिपीट 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 एंड रिपीट, वॉच दिस पर्टिकुलर एंटायर वीडियो ऑफ योर जो हम लोग अपलोड होगा, बिकॉज आपने इतनी इंसाइट दी और इतनी सिंप्लिसिटी में दी है। आई एम श्योर जो बच्चे लोग आज की डेट में चाहते हैं टू हैव अ good startup business, or their business is still on and they want to develop it to the next level, I am sure you are going to give them a very good advice. And if they are in touch with you, they can be in touch with you. Plus, they will surely be understanding how to progress in this thing. तो जॉय साहब, एक और हमारा है, जिनफ का हमारा एक है, हम लोग रैपिड फायर क्वेश्चंस रखते हैं. So I will
ओके,
be asking you few six rapid fire questions which I need your
श्योर।
answers, and then I will disclose one hidden quality. आप लोगों ने सुन लिया, उन्होंने रणजी खेला है, मेडिकल में गए हैं, and he has dedicatedly done something. There is one hidden quality जो जॉय साहब ने बताई नहीं है. ये वो हम रैपिड फायर के बाद हम बताएंगे, क्योंकि जॉय साहब की जो इन्फॉर्मेशन अभी तक दी है वो बड़ी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इन्फॉर्मेशन है फॉर एनी बिजनेस. So now let's go into the rapid fire. So let's say now, first question for me is coffee or tea during board meetings?
कॉफी।
Coffee. Excel sheet or gut feeling?
गट फीलिंग।
Your stress buster.
ओ यस, माई
One
स्ट्रेस
CEO.
बस्टर।
Hmm.
My stress buster has been always thinking something in my mind while the top meetings are going on, और मैं अंदर अंदर गुनगुनाता था, कुछ एंजॉय करता था। मैं ऑलवेज इन, माई नेम इज जॉय। इसका आंसर ये भी कि माई मदर, माई she conceived me in Australia. I was born in India, in Banaras. So that time they thought the name will be Joy. And मैं joyful हूँ, और पूरे 65 साल से हूँ, और शायद ऐसे ही रहूंगा।
बहुत अच्छी बात, क्या नाम सोच के उन्होंने रखा है, जॉय. जॉय साहब, एक और रखा जाए, द वन सीईओ यू एडमायर.
वेदांता सीईओ अनिल अग्रवाल, द प्रमोटर।
अच्छा. ओके.
या, वेरी वेरी
वेरी
थॉटफुल।
गुड.
या,
योर ड्रीम कंट्री you would like to be associated with for a startup? Dream
इंडिया ओनली।
country. India
इंडिया ओनली।
only. अगर आप बिजनेस लीडर ना होते, डॉक्टर ना होते, तो आप क्या होते?
शायद मैं कंट्री को किसी गेम में रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा होता, या फिर मैं मुकेश या रफी की तरह गाने गा रहा होता।
आगे अपने आप लोगों को कि अब क्या होने वाला है नेक्स्ट में। मगर ये सर, आपकी जो जर्नी रही है, इट इज सच अ सेटल्ड, थॉटफुल जर्नी, जिसमें आपने हर एक काम बड़े थॉट प्रोसेस से किया। वेदर इट इज एनी वर्क विच यू सेड, यू प्लेड रणजी, रणजी के लिए प्रैक्टिस 18 आवर्स, मेडिकल के लिए
प्री रणजी
प्रैक्टिस
सर, इट वाज ए प्री रणजी लेवल। या
प्री रणजी लेवल ना। हाँ, तो आपने सब चीज जो की हैं वो बड़े डेडिकेशन के साथ की हैं, विद प्रिंसिपल, पर्पस। आप सबके साथ आपने जूझ के काम किया है। सो नाउ इट इज वेरी, we are very like, what should I say, no words also, we are so grateful to have you on the show where you have told us everything. I'm very happy for everyone to understand this particular show. But yes, as you said, कि लोगों को मैं बता दूं, जॉय साहब का एक और एक तरफ है, विच इज गाने गाना, जैसे उन्होंने भी खुद अपने मुंह से बोला कि बोर्ड मीटिंग में मैं गुनगुना के बैठ के कुछ सोचता रहता हूँ। तो जॉय साहब, एक गाना मुखड़ा आपसे हम जरूर सुनना चाहेंगे, सो दैट पीपल शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि एक इतने टॉप पोस्ट लेवल के सीईओ सीएफओ जो हैं, उन वो भी एक अपना पैशन को जगाए रख सकते हैं। So I would like to have some song of your choice, and I'm looking forward to it, sir. Thank you for that, sir, accepting it.
ऐसे ही गुनगुनाने का शौक था, तो अब जैसे सबैटिकल लॉन्ग चल रहा है मेरा, बहुत ज्यादा बिजी रहती थी, कॉर्पोरेट के साथ एसोसिएटेड हूँ नहीं, तो अपने
हम्म।
पैशन को पूरा कर रहा हूँ। तो आई डांस
हम्म।
ऑल्सो, आई सिंग ऑल्सो, आई
हाँ।
कैन। एक
अरे
मैं
वाह।
तेरी अदा के भोलेपन पे, तेरी अदा के भोलेपन पे मरते रहे हम जितना, कौन मरेगा इतना, कौन मरेगा इतना, हमने तुझको प्यार किया है जितना, कौन करेगा इतना, कौन करेगा इतना।
वाह साहब वाह। मैं तो कहता हूँ, भाभी जी एंड योर फैमिली विल बी सो हैप्पी टू हैव यू एज ए फादर एंड हस्बैंड। तो कहते होंगे भाई साहब, कितना रोमांस भरा हुआ है गाना, भी वही चुना है आपने सर। इट्स सच अ नाइस प्लेजर टू बी विद यू, एंड आई एम श्योर हम आपके साथ दोबारा भी कुछ शो ऑर्गेनाइज करेंगे, वेयर वी विल टेक इट ऑन अ स्टेप विच मोर फर्दर, बिकॉज टुडे व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड is something very good. And moreover, गाने के लिए yes, thank you very much, what a voice। अब आप उसको भी, उस पर डेडिकेशन लगा लीजिए, दो चीजों पे सर आप डेडिकेशन कीजिए सर अपनी। अब एक वो है किताब लिखने के लिए, और दूसरी है आपकी फॉर सिंगिंग के लिए सर, कि लोग
जब
आपको लगेगा कि साहब बहुत अच्छा गा रहे हैं। सो सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। एंड टुडे वाज अ वेरी good show, and I'm sure everybody will look into this show and they will appreciate it and they will be watching it again and again. जहाँ पे भी फंसेंगे, I'm sure they will go to this particular show and they will say, oh, this is what he had guided and this is how it will there. And I will be very happy if in the description your details will be there, जिसमें people can contact you. And I'm sure joint ventures, startup and global trade will become so easy for them with your guidance and everything. Thank you very much, sir, for being a part of our show. I, Vishal Saxena, on behalf of entire Zena family, would like to thank you. And we would love
थैंक
to
यू,
see you again and again, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you. And sure, when I'm in India, I will be surely coming and contacting you also. अब मेरे
माय
contact
प्लेजर।
में जितने people होंगे, I will surely guide them to you.
थैंक
Thank
यू
you,
वेरी
sir.
मच, थैंक यू
Thank you, thank
विशाल।
you, thank you, thank you,
बाय।
thank you, sir. Namaskar, sir. Thanks.
नमस्कार।
Thanks.